in WDAY time. Hot Talk with Scott Hennon on the way at 9. He'll be infiltrating the hallowed halls of Microsoft.
Oh, wow.
Surprised Bill Gates is letting him in.
And got security clearance.
Well, I was just talking to Chris Eric, and he was telling me all the hoops that you have to jump through to get through clearance there.
I'm sure.
Why are you here? Who are you? Who are you with? What's your shoe size?
But he made it.
Yeah,
You think he's made it?
But he has, we'll find out.
We'll find out at 9 o'clock.
We'll find out.
Scott, are you there?
At 9. If he's there, he made it through.
All right. Well, Thanksgiving is just a week away, and of course for most Americans that means turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes. But for some Americans it means tofurkey. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Kathleen Keene and Karl Keene join us. They are from a fairly new group in town called FMVeg, which is a group of vegetarians. And you guys said your group is growing pretty fast, 98 members?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We wanted to talk to you today a little bit about Thanksgiving recipes maybe that don't use meat. And it seems almost impossible to believe that you couldn't have turkey on Thanksgiving. It seems... Do you guys ever, as vegetarians, feel a little left out this time of year? Is this a tough time of year since this holiday is so centered around food and meat?
Sometimes with, family gatherings, they don't want to maybe not even invite you because what do we fix,
Yeah. And what happens in those cases when you go to a home where there is a turkey and there's meat? I assume you just sort of have to make do and eat what you can?
That, and sometimes we bring our own dishes,
Okay. Well, we're going to get into some Thanksgiving recipes in just a little bit. But I thought when Kathleen emailed me, I thought her story was so interesting about how you ended up losing a bunch of weight. Well, why don't you just start at the very beginning? You said you have not been vegetarian your whole life. When did you decide to become a vegetarian?
Well, I was 13 years old, and my sister was vegetarian. She's 10 years older than me, and she was a smoker as well. And she said, I dare you to be vegetarian, and I'll quit smoking.
Oh, and the Great American Smokeout. There's a challenge for you.
Yeah, it is the Great American Smokeout. And
you said, okay.
I said, okay. I was 13, and it took me 2 years to finally kick the habit of eating meat, and for her, she quit cold turkey hot.
Wow.
So,
well, that had to be hard as a 13-year-old, too, with living at home with your mom and dad, and they're thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah, you come, a lot of opposition from my mom and everybody else. Yeah.
What is the challenge? And I guess this is my perception. The challenge for me would be, how do you make sure you're still getting the protein and you're still getting a balanced diet when our we have the food pyramid?
Right.
How do you, as even a 13-year-old, how do you ensure you're keeping a balanced and healthy diet?
Well, the whole protein argument is really overrated. If you look at broccoli, for example, I know it's not people's favorite food, but just for example, leafy greens have twice the amount of protein per calorie than sirloin steak. So, like, if you look at 100 calories of broccoli, it has twice the amount of protein in it.
Okay, I never knew that.
So that's really handy to know when you're trying to lose weight.
Okay, and speaking of the weight loss, I thought this was interesting, too. You said you ended up, as a vegetarian, gaining some weight, or you said you...
Well, initially, the first month, I really went with it. I lost 20 pounds, just like that. But, as a young person, not knowing what to eat, kind of just omitting meat from my diet, it was hard. Just eating a lot of cheese and, things like that, dairy products. I was still really into...
dairy and
country girl, ate fresh milk right from the cow,
Oh, wow. Okay. But then also, you said the pasta and the potatoes. I think a lot. I was telling Kathleen, one of my husband's friends was vegetarian, ended up gaining a lot of weight because he was eating a lot of pasta and potatoes, and I would think that would be a really easy thing to fall into if you decide to give up meat.
Right.
But you came up with a solution where you ended up making this a very healthy lifestyle. So how did that happen?
It took me years to finally figure out, what do I need to do to lose weight? I've been overweight all my life, and what do I do? And a chiropractor friend of ours said, you need nutrition. Your body needs nutrition. You don't need to worry about calories because you got all the calories you need on your body. And so I said, how do I get more nutrition? Do I take supplements.
Yeah, you want to take pills
And it never occurred to me, eat more vegetables and eat more fruit. And even being a vegetarian, I was like,
well, it seems like you would have already been doing that.
No, I was
not enough nutrition.
I was a pasta potato-arian, big time, eating too much, white stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I've heard that some people, if they say they give up the white stuff.
Yeah.
Oprah jokes about giving up white stuff, and that's how she lost weight. But all right, so then you started just eating. So you said something about eating just fruit before noon?
Yep, I eat fruit until noon, and I think, if people want to try this, that would be the first thing to do.
Just eat fruit till noon?
Raw fruit until noon.
See, I heard that fruit is something you need to be careful of because the sugar content in fruit is high.
That's if you just drink the juice.
Okay.
You've got to be a little careful with it at first. But, it's nutritious.
Okay, so what fruit do you eat before noon? And how do you...
Whatever we have.
What do you have? Apples,
bananas, oranges, kiwi.
And does that fill you up?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And sometimes you got to eat a lot of it. I had a banana, an apple, and a part of a kiwi in a nice smoothie this morning.
Oh, yummy.
So
sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so then noon time comes. Is your fruit consumption for the day done, and then you turn to vegetables, or how does that work?
Pretty much, because I'm not a big fruit eater. I'm like chugging it down. But sometimes, in the afternoon, I'll have a piece of fruit. But at noon, I try to eat a pound of produce.
A pound of produce.
It sounds crazy, but I don't do it every day. Maybe like a half a pound. It could be any kind of vegetable you think of.
Okay.
Spinach, lettuce, tomatoes, you name it.
Can it be cooked, or
no,
it has to be raw?
It has to be raw.
So you're talking about raw broccoli, raw cauliflower, raw lettuce.
Yep. And I chop it up really fine.
Okay.
I love carrots, shredded carrots,
okay.
things like that.
She marinates it and makes interesting salads, too.
Yeah.
And marinated in what? Because that's it. I mean, to me, I hate to admit it, but I'd have to doctor that up a little bit, even just raw vegetables.
I doctor it up big time.
Okay. So
I do this sounds bizarre, but I do a raw stir fry, without frying it, of course. Like just the sauce. Pour it over it. Do a raw curry. We have a Sri Lankan friend who lives downstairs who taught me about all that.
Oh, I love curry, too.
I love curry.
Yum.
And it's doable. Very
doable.
So
why can't you cook it? Do you just lose too much of the nutrition when you cook it?
Yes. You lose a lot of the nutrition and you lose all the enzymes. And there's just something about it. I ate a lot of vegetables before switching to raw food, and it didn't do the same thing. I was staying at the same weight for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I came across a group, it's actually a magazine, Hallelujah Acres, and they're a religious group who ascribes to Genesis 1:29, which is, eat all the herbs of the field and the, I can't think of the verse right now. I should have wrote that down.
But you ended up losing weight from eating this. And so
40 pounds in 1 year just from that.
Wow. And then do you eat more of a normal meal, sit-down meal at dinner time? But we're not talking about French fries and hamburgers.
It is more normal supper, yeah.
But we have French fries.
Yeah.
And we have...
And I have chocolate.
We have veggie burgers. And we have veggie dogs.
Yeah. I feel more free now in eating than I ever did. I feel like I can really enjoy food for the first time in my life, where I felt like everything I eat, I'm a slave to. It's going to make me fat. That's why I felt.
Okay. But interesting. Well, we'll take a break now, but why don't we come back with some recipe ideas for Thanksgiving and talk about some of the misconceptions. I off mic here a while ago was saying that it just seems like it'd be really hard to do, like cookies and cakes. And you said there's a solution for us sweet eaters that like our cookie and cake and things like that. So we'll come back with some Thanksgiving recipe ideas. WDAY time, 8:20.
West Fargo Car